Hey, this week's episode is a special one. I met with a guest, Jimmy Rios, who is a business credit expert out of Arizona, and he's written a book, Decoding the Myth of Business Credit. And we go into exactly what steps you need to take to be able to get and establish business credit for your business. So if you've always wanted your business to be buying things and getting credit, we go through the steps of exactly how to do it. Jimmy breaks it down for us and tells us exactly why we should be looking at business credit, what the opportunities are using business credit versus our personal credit, and why you should be doing it for your business. It doesn't have to be a big myth. You can figure it out and just need to take the right steps. And we talk all about that in today's episode. So with that, I look forward to you checking out our episode with Jimmy Rios, our guest on Decoding the Business Credit Myth. And hey, while you're doing that, could you like and subscribe our video? I would greatly appreciate it. Or if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything like that, make sure you subscribe to our podcast so that it'll download automatically and you won't miss a single episode. And also leave us a 5-star review. Tell us how we're doing. I would greatly appreciate it. Hello, and this is Stephen Young, host of the Savvy or Surrender podcast. And today I have a special treat for us. We've got a special guest coming in today, Jimmy Rios, the author of Decoding the Mystery of Business Credit and owner and founder of Rios Business Advisors. Jimmy, welcome.
Hey, Stephen, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you, Jimmy. Where do you live? How many kids you
Yeah,
got? All this kind of fun things.
well, I live in Arizona, outside of Phoenix. There's a little town called Maricopa,
Yeah.
and I am married with three kids. My wife has a daughter, so a stepdaughter. She's like 31. My boys are 17. I got twin boys, and my daughter is 19. She's up at NAU in Northern Arizona University, and got two dogs, and I get my kids every other week, so I feel like the kids are already gone. I mean, I see them when I see them, and we've adjusted our sales for that empty nest, and we love to travel and do what we can while we were working and building these little businesses that we're doing.
Very nice. Sounds like fun. I kind of started over. We would be empty nesters. We have a 19-year-old and then we adopted, and so now we have a 9-year-old and a
Oh,
6-year-old at home, and
oh,
kind of started
congratulations!
over there a few years ago. But
That's beautiful.
God's blessings, right?
A beautiful endeavor. Actually, my father-in-law and his wife, my wife's parents, in their 70s, decided to start over and
Wow.
adopted two children. And I give my hats off to them because I couldn't imagine. I mean, I
No,
even
man, I'm telling you,
I'm
having kids
yeah,
is for the young.
yes,
It's
patience.
so much harder now that I'm older.
It is, I'm sure. There's got to be something very gratifying though as well, and I really applaud you guys for doing the most unselfish thing that you can do, in being able to adopt and help other kids. So I think that's beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. All right. Well, tell us about Rios Business Advisors. How long have you guys been
Yeah.
in business?
So the Rios Business Advisors is a vertical that we developed a little bit over 2 years ago, coming off of my legacy company that is Rios Financial Group, which has been around for over 20 years. And it became an advisory group because though we did a lot of things in the financial services space, we started seeing that I had a lot of different verticals based on needs that we were quarterbacking the deals out to. And I said, well, why don't we just develop an advisory firm with the experts in each one of these fields that we could basically put a blueprint together for each client around all the different necessities, not just one product or service. And it became a beautiful thing because it was like having an eco universe of financial services where inside that universe we could plant the seed properly for each client because every case study is different. And so somebody would come to us originally with credit issues. This advisors became a vertical for us that was necessary because we developed, a lot of different verticals in helping the individuals. And so by us putting together a blueprint for them, um, around the different necessities, it made it easier to control the results and being able to see how we could help our clients more than just giving them one product or service. And so
Sure.
by having vested results in the different areas of concern for that client, it really helped because we could then take them from, maybe their problem originally was credit, but as we developed their credit, we could then start getting them funded and start elevating them in different areas for their business or their personal, right? So we started really looking at things holistically inside of what's the solution long term, what can we do short term to get them there, and then little by little start incrementing those solutions. And the people that were involved were very engaged. They were really loving that because behind the scenes they didn't know any different, but for us it was huge in being able to help them that way. Because imagine taking somebody who came to you originally with a credit issue, and then eventually we were able to help them with buying a house and building their business and getting an estate plan and getting their life insurance and all the different things that happen in life that we can advise on and guide. And how much more do they appreciate that when we get them from point A to point Z over the course of years? They're loving it because they're like, I didn't even know that you guys could do all those things.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's dive into business credit because I think that is probably when I talk to business owners, it's one of the most asked questions and also
Yeah,
one of the most, I think, misunderstood. So you have your book, Decoding the Mystery of Business Credit, that I
yeah,
went through and really enjoyed. I felt like you did a really good job, just kind of just like just now, where you went from A to Z on business credit and talked about it.
yeah.
What are some of the misconceptions you would say about business credit that maybe business owners don't know or should understand?
Well, I think the biggest misconception is that it's very difficult to attain, right? It's not, it isn't. I mean, everything has a process in getting it done, but really, understanding the mechanics of building business credit is not difficult. It's just you just have to be able to be willing to make some moves and make some steps. And sometimes it's the whole process of I want it now, right? And the reality is business credit, because of the way that it's structured, is a little different, and it's going to have different scoring models and different attributes. So there's going to be changes. It's not like personal credit, right? And
Sure.
so it might rely at first on some personal credit aspects, but you can still build business credit apart from personal credit. And that's another misconception that people have, that if my personal credit is bad, I can't do nothing with your business credit. And that's not true either. We can simultaneously build it helps. Don't get me wrong. It does help the whole process faster when your personal credit is good, right? Because it can facilitate personal guarantees on your end to be able to get
Right.
approved. But you don't need that if we can work on your personal credit over time and get it where it needs to be, while at the same time building your business credit through other means and other ways. So don't get dissuaded or set back on thinking one side has to be perfect to get to the other side. It doesn't.
Okay. So let's say that you are a contractor. I work with a lot of contractors. So let's say you're a contractor and you're just getting started in business. And, maybe you've been around for a little bit. You've got some sales, right? You're making some money, and you really want to be able to buy some equipment or maybe a truck or something in the business name. What would you say step number, one, two, three? What do we do
Yeah.
first to get going to be
Uh,
able to accomplish that?
it sounds contrite, maybe a little too basic, but I think making sure that you are structured properly first, right, for having your LLC. Many contractors will be set up as a sole proprietor. They'll go to the Secretary of State and they'll get their DBA, and they think they have a business, and they don't. right? They need to get, at the very minimum, to start setting up an LLC, start having the
Get their
attributes of a
EIN.
business, their EIN. They need to get a bank account and start, um,
A
stop
business bank
commingling.
account, right? To clarify, just get a
Business bank
business bank
account.
account. Yeah.
They need to get a business bank account and start running some business through there, right? Even if it's, their expenses for their business, gas, things like that. You should start developing those expenditures and pluses, right? The money you got coming in. Stop commingling your funds between your personal and your business. You need to start treating your business like a business and start respecting it as an independent entity of your own, right? So that you stop using Jimmy Rios as the source and start using XYZ Corporation as your business to help you do the things you're going to do. Um, that would be
Absolutely.
that would be some of the two main things I would start with, and then I think from there, um, the, depending on the type of business you have, obviously opening up a business account with um, Home Depot or Lowe's or some of these stores that you can order supplies from, even though they might have what's called net 30 accounts where you have to pay that bill inside of 30 days. The
Right.
the ability to start reporting to your business credit based on the EIN is extremely important, and that's how it starts, is by showing those net 30 accounts. And in my book, I delineate a lot of different companies that can get you net 30. Like there's companies that will report for like business cards if you need to order business cards or any type of marketing materials, or there's like for your phones like Verizon and different phone companies that so there's things around your 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 daily life that you use that you don't think about, right? And if you start thinking, how can I expense this if I'm already paying for it, and how can I put it under my business? Then you start thinking smarter, with those things,
Perfect. So step one, I become an LLC. Step two, I get my EIN. Step three, I go to a bank and open up a bank account. Now, does it matter if it's a traditional bank versus a credit union?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's banks that are going to be more business prone than, even a credit union or a specific bank. So I would do my research a little bit more on, your area, banks that are more business prone, because those are going to help you get more funding and things later on because they're in that business, in that side of the business more, right? So you could do a Google search or a Chat GPT search on the best the best banks in my city, and put your city, and it'll give you like a top 10 of what they recommend and why.
Okay, so I can go to
But
my local credit union, and that's not going to make a difference if I just go
no, I
to,
mean, credit unions are
Idaho
great.
Central Credit Union or something like
Yeah,
that.
credit unions are great for a lot of reasons, and you can start there. There's another thing that I implore in my book that's very important. When you start developing your business, you want to start trying to get it to separate from having it showing going to your home, right? Like you want to start having a phone number that's separate from your cell phone. You want to have an email that's separate from your personal email, right? So you want to start getting very professional, sales at XYZ Corp or info at XYZ Corp. A phone number, I use a service called umail.com that lets me put a phone number tied to my cell phone. So when you call it, it'll have like a messaging service that'll say, thank you for calling Rios Financial Group, and it will allow it to go to my cell phone. I can see the call coming in as a business call, right? So, but when you put this out there on Google Maps, so it can start identifying your business, it's so important because your credit score and the way underwriters look at that stuff is so important. if it looks like you're just working out of your home, which you can, but it gives it more credibility, right? And it's all about the perception and how you build this presentation of your business, and so that, yeah, even though we have more people in the gig economy, there's a lot of places that you can get like a virtual address to be able to put on, with your for your business address, where you can get your
Right.
mail, different things like that I recommend doing to separate, start building the separation between your business and yourself, right? And it makes a
And once
big
you do that, you get that address and the separate phone number. What are the listings that we need to make sure we're part of to be able to start doing the business credit as well?
There's a site called 411.com. You want to get yourself on listed on 411.com. You want to go to Dun and Bradstreet, or nav.com, nav.com, and it'll allow you to get your Dunn's number, your Dun and Bradstreet number. That number is extremely important in developing business credit. And once you get that Dunn's number, use it uh, along with your EIN, because that should start showing credibility in business credit.
Okay, awesome. So now that I've got that, I'm kind of at like step 5 or 6 or something like that. Where's the first place I'm going to apply for credit? If I'm let's say I'm a plumber, am I going
Yeah,
to
go to
Lowe's or
your
Home Depot? Are they going
yeah,
to give me something?
go to Ace Hardware, go to Lowe's, Granger. I mean, there's a lot of different stores that you could start with. I would say start with three stores. Get a gas card, Conoco. There's
Right
different business
Express.
gas. Yeah, yep, and you can start there, because you're always going to need gas for your driving, and you're probably going to frequent a lot of these places for your materials and different things. Ask in some of those stores if they offer business credit, and if they do, sign up. All you need is 3 to 5 accounts over 90 days to really start showing your business credit, and from there, um, you're going to start being able to get other lines of credit. Some of them won't require a PG, or a personal guarantee, where you have to use your social, right? I recommend trying to stay away from using, if you don't have good credit. If your credit is
Yeah.
challenged, I recommend looking for the ones that don't require a PG. Um, and if you do, so even if you have bad credit now, try to work with getting your credit fixed. Okay, if you can't do it yourself, many people try, but it's a system, it's a process. So I
Right.
recommend looking into getting that done. It doesn't take much either. Many people just don't are not consistent enough in the process to get it done right. So it makes it feel like you're doing it forever, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it every month, then it'll fall off. Like, in other words, you fall off track, and then you're basically starting over, and it feels like you're going in circles. And for a lot of people, that's
Absolutely.
extremely frustrating. But let me tell you, there's wonders of opportunities that happen when you start building your personal and your business credit. Not only in eliminating the liability for yourself and transferring that liability over to your business, but the amount of credit that usually can be given in business credit is about 10 times what you would get on the personal side. And when you're working with business credit, you don't have to follow the traditional guidelines with personal credit. You can only usually you should only stay inside of 30 to 40% of the limits that you have. So
Right.
it limits what you can use on credit on the personal side. With business, it's understood that there's ebbs and flows with business, and so they're going to give you more money to work with, but you're also going to be able to use more of it in your business. So it's not scored by the amount of credit that you use. You could use 100% of your credit in business, and it doesn't affect you. It's more important the flow of paying it back, and how soon you pay it back, that makes
Okay.
the credit scores what they are. And so it's more important for you to get in the habit of, yeah, putting it on that business credit, and then even making um, a minimal payment inside of a week, right? So it reports that you made that payment net 7 days instead of net 30, right? Or net 15, right? The sooner that you pay on that, even if it's just the minimum, so that you can pay more later, it reports. And that's done over time with 2 or 3, 4 accounts. That starts showing really well on your credit.
Interesting. Okay.
People
So
don't
what
know
about
that.
like cell phone? If I, go to Verizon, you had mentioned Verizon or AT&T or something, and I get a new business plan, does that make a difference? Does that get reported to DNB? And what are, I guess maybe we should address this too. What are the difference in the credit bureaus between personal and business?
Yeah. So with personal, you're always working inside of the three bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. With business credit, you're working with different. You're still working with Experian, but you also have LexisNexis. Let me tell you exactly which ones they are here. Yeah, so you have your Dun and Bradstreet, which does the Paydex score, which is like you think of FICO in business and personal credit. The
Yeah.
Paydex is what basically they're going to go off of with a score of 0 to 100. 80 plus is considered excellent. You have Experian Business, which has what they call a IntelliScore plus, which is a scoring between 1 to 100. This one's the one that uh, is usually used by vendors for or business credit cards. Then um, you have the Equifax business, and this one predicts late payments. They also have what's called a business failure score, which is used by banks and lenders for commercial credit lines. And
Okay.
then you also have the Small Business Financial Exchange. It's not, it's a SBFE for short, but it collects loan payments data from many of the lenders, and it feeds to Experience, Dun& Bradstreet, and Equifax. And it's used by the major lenders like Chase,
Okay.
Amex, Bank of America. Um, and there's others, right, that are used. It's just good to get in the habit of knowing some of these things, because the more that you know about these things, the better you're going to be in. I always talk about presentation, right? And presenting yourself and your business in the best light, right? So if you know some of these tricks on what to look for and how to go about setting yourself up, it's just going to help you put yourself in that echelon, right? In that next level.
Awesome. So as we get ready to part here, what would some great final comments be, and then tell us how to get a hold of you if we think we need your services.
Definitely. Well, the first thing I recommend is don't wait until it gets started. Everybody says I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Don't procrastinate. I think the sooner that we get you going, the faster you're going to start seeing the changes in your life, personally, professionally. With us, we're on all the social media channels, starting with YouTube at Rios Business Funding, and Instagram at Rios Business Advisors, Facebook at Rios Business Advisors, and at Rios Business Funding, and on our websites, riosbusinessadvisors.com and riosbusinessfunding.com. Either of those, we're very heavy on chat and asking questions, and setting up an appointment through the call to action buttons that we supply in those channels.
Awesome. I love it, and thank you so much for your time, Jimmy.
I appreciate you, Stephen.
All right.
Appreciate being on your show.
Absolutely. If you liked today's episode with Jimmy Rios and decoding the business credit myth, then please reach out to us. Meetwithsavvy.com, schedule a discovery call. I would love to talk to you about your taxes, your financial planning, all those kind of things. I can link you up with Jimmy, got his information in the show notes as well. But if you're just wondering, hey, do I even qualify for a bank loan? maybe a line of credit is great for your business and you don't have any idea how to be able to qualify for one. Well, that's one of the things we do at Savvy Tax Strategies and Bookkeeping is we go through your accounting, your cash flow cycle, and help you to adjust your numbers correctly so that you can qualify for a bank loan and be able to get that line of credit, be able to get that cash flow in your business so that you can be able to grow and do whatever it is that you want to do for your business. So go to meetwithsavvy.com, schedule a discovery call, completely free. We'll figure out if we're a right fit for you and what we might be able to do to help you out and establish that business credit, get a line of credit or a bank loan, whatever it is you want to do. Thanks.